Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Vice President, Systems Engineering, Roger Anderson.
All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for being here. And it feels like the buzz is staying alive from yesterday. So I'm just going to assume that everybody is taking full advantage of the sessions, Insight Central, and everything that's put on for this event. And thank you for that. Need a little help though. I guess we're about halfway through Insight, and we're about halfway to our goal of 7,000. But yesterday, Manfred Reitner announced that for every hashtag NetApp Insight tweet, we would donate $1. So we have 3,500. So let's try to get to 7,000. So if you're a tweeter out there, we'd appreciate you pitching in. So I think we can hit 7,000 by the end of the event. Hopefully we can do that. Today is a special day. It's day 2, general session. But tomorrow is Certified User Day. So congratulations to everybody who's been certified. In fact, at the event so far, we've had 373 additional people get certified. And at the end of the day today, we have a Greet and Geek event. So that starts at 5:30. All the folks that are certified, please join us there. That's in the Hall B foyer. And there'll be folks from NetApp in there. And I think it's a good opportunity just get to know a few more folks, a few more certified folks. And there'll probably be beverages and stuff like that too. Another thing I always like to talk about for Insight is hands-on labs. So hands-on labs is an opportunity to really get your hands on the technology while you're here. As of yesterday, there were over 500 labs that were completed, half of those by customers, so we'd love to see that, getting your hands on it. And the most popular labs have been the 7MTT, so people interested in transitioning from 7 mode to cluster data ONTAP, WFA, and 831, and then also SnapVault and SnapMirror and cluster data ONTAP. Always get a lot of good feedback on the hands-on labs. If you haven't had the time or made the time to go check those out, please do so. I think that would be useful. All right, so hopefully through the presentations that you've had and the sessions you've been through and some of the stuff talking to partners, you're getting a really good idea of some of the really cool ways that we're enabling and leveraging the data fabric. I wanted to share just really a short story about leveraging the data fabric. It actually happened in a customer meeting when I was in the Las Vegas event. So we were talking to the customer, happened to be AIG. They had a partner that worked with them. And the partner was explaining to the customer, he said, I don't know if I ever really told you how we finished up those WFA scripts we were working on. And the customer said, no, I don't think you have. He goes, oh, well, we couldn't get our hands on equipment. So I logged into my wife's Amazon account, and I secured a Cloud ONTAP instance, and I worked on the WFA scripts and proved them out. And then we brought them down to your data center, tested them for 2 days, and they worked. It cost $900 for me to do that. So I just hadn't heard that before. Maybe everybody out here is already doing things like that, but I just thought that was a really cool way of using Cloud ONTAP and give a kind of a example of that. And I want everybody to know, everyone who's here, customer, partner, NetApp, if you go to poc.netapp.com, then you can use Cloud ONTAP for free, and you can check it out. So if you haven't done that, give it a try. All right, so you've seen a lot, and we're going to continue to see more cool stuff throughout the general session on demos. And the technology is really cool. Really excited to talk about it. We're seeing data mobility as it moves from disk to flash to cloud. Really the right speed for the workload when you need it, where you need it. We're going to show you more today about how we're solving customer challenges. And I mentioned yesterday that building the data fabric is going to take all of us. From a technology perspective, cluster data ONTAP is foundational, but data fabric is more than just that. It also is a lot about our partners. Fujitsu, one of our Diamond sponsors, has been a long partner for NetApp, long-time partner. And as the technical leader who is responsible for bringing cluster data ONTAP into their business is here with us today. So I'm delighted to bring to stage our CIO of NetApp, Cynthia Stoddard, who's going to talk to Fujitsu about their experience and what they're learning about Data Fabric. So Cynthia, please come out.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having just a great time here at Insight. And it's a pleasure to be back in Berlin. For those of you who don't know me, I'm NetApp's CIO. But I'm also NetApp's first customer. My IT team partners with NetApp engineering to put our products through the paces of a real Fortune 500 environment. We're at the forefront of where NetApp innovation comes to life. And if you haven't met my team, please go to the NetApp on NetApp booth at Insight Central. I think you're going to have some really great conversations with them. Now, before I welcome our guest, I want to give you something to ponder. Every minute, this is every minute, Facebook users share nearly 2.5 million pieces of content. Twitter users tweet 300,000 times. Instagram users post 220,000 photos. YouTube users upload 72 hours of video. Now this is every minute. Apple users download nearly 50,000 apps. And email users send over 200 million messages. Now I could do with less email. Amazon generates over $80,000 in online sales. 60 seconds is not a long time, but when you look at it in terms of how much data is created and shared, it's huge. Data is at the heart of the digital transformation, and we're all experiencing at this time. Transactions, conversations, entire lifestyles and business models are changing. Data is powerful, but more than power, it's personal. I want you to meet Claire, and I have to turn around and look at it. Claire is my granddaughter. Every morning when I wake up and start my day, I look at photos. My daughter uses an online journal, Tiny Beans, to record her daily activities. And I'm a subscriber. So no matter where I am in the world, wherever I get up, I get daily updates, and I'm able to see what my granddaughter has done. So I don't miss out on anything, big or small, that is going on in her life. Now, this is really a lifestyle change if you think about how we used to do baby books. So data is personal. And I would say that everybody here, every single person in this room, has their own precious data, right? I mean, you all have your data that is important to you. And data is changing our world and the experiences that we have every day. But it's the convergence of mobility, social, media, cloud, and big data that are really shaping the industry's future. So with that, how do businesses and IT teams really keep up with all these changes and get ahead of these forces? How do we do it? Well, we're going to talk about that today. Today we're going to have a conversation with one of our partners, Fujitsu. Together, Fujitsu and NetApp are really shaping the world where everyone and everywhere we are connected. Our two companies have had a very long-standing and a very successful relationship. So I'd like you to welcome Bernhard Brandwitte, Vice President of Storage, Fujitsu Systems.
Hey, Cynthia.
Hi, good to see you again.
See you.
Let's sit down.
Thank you very much for this kind of introduction. Actually, Claire is beautiful.
Oh,
I need
thank
to
you.
tell you.
Yeah, I'm very proud of her.
And wow, what an audience. Fantastic. You know, that's the second time you're inviting me to Berlin, right? Last year I was here.
That's
I was
right.
talking about hangovers. It was a different setting there. It was early in the morning. So thank you so much for having me here again. I appreciate it.
That's great, great. Let's sit down. We can have a conversation here.
Oh, that's
Talk
nice.
about IT, everything that is really near and dear to our hearts. So let's start by, what is Fujitsu up to? What are you guys doing?
Well, let me briefly and quickly introduce Fujitsu to the audience while I've got the opportunity to be up front here. Fujitsu is a real global company. We are trading approximately 50 billion of revenue around the world. And actually, we are just celebrating our 80th birthday. So we are one of the oldest IT company on this planet. We have got 160,000 employees around the world. We are working in more than 100 countries. We have got more than 100 data centers around the world. So a really, really global company. But I always call it an engineering company because we have got engineering facilities in Japan as well as in Germany. So we can probably compare it to Toyota and BMW of the IT world. But then again, talking about German cars at the moment is maybe not as fashionable, given the latest Volkswagen measurement disasters.
Yeah, and I have one of those sitting at home.
Talking about measurements, actually, you might have seen, and you also maybe in the audience have seen some of the latest SPC1 and SPC2 benchmarks from EMC. Michael Dell, you might want to check some of the software which was involved in there, right? It may be worthwhile double checking this. Anyway, let me come back to Fujitsu quickly. We do everything in IT. You know, we have got RFID sensors, we're doing mobile phones, we're doing notebooks, PCs, x86 servers, Unix servers, mainframes, storage, of course. We also have got a very long underwater cable connecting various continents. We have got satellite communication, robots, car management systems we are actually doing. But we're also a very large service provider, IT service provider. So we're doing managed services as well as break and fix services also for NetApp equipment. And we also have got a strong hand on the cloud, private cloud as well as public cloud offerings we are doing on a global basis, and many times actually a hybrid cloud approach with you.
That's absolutely great, and I know we'll delve into a lot of the different services and examples that you can talk about. But one area is your partner ecosystem. We actually share a lot of partners, and it's been very successful for us. Can you talk a little bit about the partner network?
Oh yeah, more than happy to do so. And let me distinguish between, on the one hand side, the technology partners, but also then our sales channel. But just one moment on reflection what has happened 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago in the IT industry, a new monster was generated by the takeover of EMC by Dell. And actually, it's really, really interesting to see what's happening in the background there. When you look at the commercials of buying this beast, we actually see that this new company now has to generate $2 billion per year in order to cover the interests alone on this deal. So this will actually, it's good news for us because this will mean that the new monster will actually drive more and more proprietary solutions into the market that will continue with that funny behavior of on-demand, very funny behavior in terms of SDS approaches. So that's something which is very different to what we are doing, right? NetApp and Fujitsu have got a very, very strong and long-term partnership since the 90s. In the 90s, we were listening to Snap. We were listening to Mariah Carey, right? And
that's right.
And all of these guys, right? So it's really going back more or less 20 years, a very, very long time. And Fujitsu is driving, together with you guys, industry standards into the market. So we love to partner with SAP, we love to partner with Cisco, with Veeam, with Semantic Veritas, with Commvault, and there are some more partners out there in order to build best-of-breed solutions. And we're not only partnering with the technology providers, but also with customers. So we're inventing new solutions together with companies like Boeing, like Royal Bank of Scotland, Lufthansa, Siemens. There are some examples of customers where we also don't have only a customer relationship, but really a partnership relation. So that was on the technology side, but also on the channel partner side, we have got a very, very strong combined network in terms of sales partners. Fujitsu is trading 80% of the product business indirectly, so via the channel. We are acting as one of the biggest distributors in Europe for NetApp, actually, and that's something which is also combining our both strengths.
Thank you for that, yeah.
But that was talking about partners and the partner ecosystem. What about customers? You're a customer of ours.
I am a customer. The partner network is great, but I am a customer. Now, talked about engineering, but I think, and I think my team would agree, is what really sets you apart is your high quality service and support. You know, I have an example because, we recently opened up a new data center, and your team was right there by our sides working with us until we finished getting it set up. Now, when I look at that, I say you're a partner with a big P because of all the support that you gave us.
Thank you.
But also, what makes the business is the people, and I think that our organizations have very complementary cultures. I think we get along, really well when you see the teams working together on the floor. So we continue to work with you for a number of different reasons. We talk about integrity of your team. You really help us out a lot. You just don't sell us things, you listen. You listen to us a lot. Trust. We trust what you have to say. Very, very much. You're open, you're honest about what you can and cannot do. You're visible, you're on site when we need you. We have critical processing times, and you're there on site to help us out. And you just don't try to be all things. I know you have this wide variety of services that you talked about, and that's great. But when your team comes on site, they'll tell us we can do this and we can't do that. So they're very open and honest about what you can and cannot do. And then you make life easier. You're not shy. You'll come in and say, you could do that better in your data center. Maybe you should try asset tagging over here. Or maybe you should try some automation over there. And we appreciate that frank input. Now, that might have sounded a bit like a commercial.
It did, but
Well,
I appreciate that.
But
very
I'll
much.
guarantee to you that I am not in marketing and I don't do advertising, and
Thank
I have
you
no
so much.
intention of doing that. So let's switch gears and let's come back to talk about a little bit more about Fujitsu from your point of view, and also data. So last year, when I was here, when we first met, you talked about the human-centric network and a cow. That was part of your example.
You remember, right? Okay.
I absolutely remember it. I'd like you to give us an update, not necessarily on the cow, but maybe on the human-centric network. But I'm very curious whether the cow has a name.
Yeah, I might gonna, actually also mention the cow on this end. But I'm more than happy to explain what has happened over the last 12 months. Looking at the vision of Fujitsu, creating a human-centric intelligent society. Human-centric intelligent society, what we in essence are doing is we are taking the physical world as we have it today, and we are mirroring this into the digital world. By the process and doing so, we are able to make better decisions and actually combine the power of people in the room, combine the power of technology coming together, and really make the world a better place. It is as big as it is. And Data Fabric actually is helping us wonderfully with this, because we can actually we're able to move the data then. Again, maybe a bit too abstract. Let me share some examples with you. You have seen the video earlier on, and let me take the example of flying. For every spare part which is leaving the Boeing factory in Seattle, we are attaching an RFID chip to that spare part. And with that, we can actually measure and see where is the spare part being used, what is the wear, what is the tier. And we can actually prevent forgery, by doing so. So that's one of our services. We also are helping customers to become more global. So this is a very nice example of a tool manufacturer. It's a machinery and tool manufacturer for the metal industry. It's a local organization, was a local organization only focusing on one country. They wanted to become global because they had a really, really cool product to sell. But they were really fearing that they need to invest a lot of money into establishing a maintenance and service network globally. Wow. So we sat down with them and we looked at technology possibilities. So we have attached also sensors to the machinery and a communication device to the machinery. So, and with that, we were able to do a call home function of the machine. And with that, we are able that customer to expand globally. So they didn't have to invest into that a massive global network of service partners, because the machine was actually calling home, and then they were able to dispatch according people. And it has helped them massively on the customer satisfaction as well. So they're really, really happy about this. Another example, what we're doing in the moment in our labs is we're developing a haptic display. Haptic display, there are various opportunities to do things with it. Some examples are you can actually put them as a dashboard in a car, and then you can actually feel the knobs and turns in the car by touching the display. Or in a retail store, you can actually feel the fabric of the clothes you are probably not wearing, but you can actually see it.
Right.
Let me come back to the cow example. So since 2010, Fujitsu is providing cloud services for farmers, and we are just making the whole process more efficient. And we're doing that by putting sensors attached to animals, sensors attached into the ground. And just some latest figures on the cow, we are actually able now to combine the information which we have got from temperature, movement, also feeding patterns, and out of that we can actually determine what's the fertility of the cow, but also we can determine early in the process what will be the gender of the calf coming out. right? And this is really, really important.
That is so amazing.
And actually, the best news is the cow Lisa is now transponding 200 megabytes of data per year. So every cow which we are touching a
I'm
sensor
going to have to meet cow Lisa sometime. You're going to have to bring me to see her.
We'll do so. But it's these are just 4 examples how to use some of the technology you were also talking about earlier on. And I think it's a great opportunity for us all in this room here. Room is probably not the right word, but it's a great opportunity because we are in the middle of this digital transformation, and we have got the know-how. We are the IT guys, and it starts with CDOT migration, right? It really starts with enabling data fabrics. We can now with HANA and Flash technology do much faster analytics of the old ERP systems, right? And we can change the way we are using ERP systems. Also the private cloud and public cloud scenarios which we have got at our hand is something we can use now, and it's a great opportunity for us all in the room, not only for NetApp and Fujitsu.
Yeah, those are really great examples. And I think for the audience here, one thing to think about is we talk about mobile, social, and all that kind of stuff. But really, you can use the technologies to have a massive change on your business processes. You can think about things in a totally different light. So all really great examples, really great examples. So we've talked a lot about, the future and a lot about what Fujitsu is doing. But maybe we can just step a little bit into the past. And I want to ask you a question about what do you think the world would be like if Fujitsu didn't exist?
Good question. And now looking back over the last 80 years of Fujitsu being present. And what we have done, we have constantly used technology together with our customers to drive innovations. And really we have always been very careful to look at our customers, how fast they would like to use innovation and new technologies. Because there are more traditional customers out there and there are early adopters out there. And you really need to treat them in the right way. Nevertheless, over the last 80 years, we have been able to drive industry standards and especially the ease of use of IT technology and ICT technology into the market in a very efficient and very less costly way. And that has helped the wide adoption of IT now being present all over the place. And this, now, of course, is now the foundation for our human-centric intelligent society vision, and we are able to make that become very true. But let me turn the table, right? Let me ask the same question to you. What would have happened if NetApp wouldn't have been around?
Well, we're not 80 years old, so our legacy isn't quite as deep as Fujitsu. My belief is not just about the technology, but how the technology is actually put to use to solve real-life problems. So I believe that due to the power and efficiency of what our technology brings to the table, we've helped organizations, companies all over the world in areas like health, science, entertainment, solve problems faster. And since they solved the problems faster, there was additional savings that they could take and then reinvest in R&D and then get on to the next problem faster. So that's what I think that our legacy is. And if you think about what we're doing now, we're spearheading much of what is going on in innovation and the trends in cloud computing, in data management, storage. We pioneered the concept of the data fabric, which we've been talking about and has been a topic here. And this is really how we in the future really need to look at data challenges and solve them so that we can use these good technologies to solve business problems.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So data fabric, you've mentioned it. Let's talk about it a bit more. How can it really help customers reinvent what they're doing?
Again, I would like to make that very concrete on some of the examples. And actually, just recently, we have been able to win a couple of very interesting wins with very large banks in Europe. So one very large bank in Scotland just bought a lot of V-shapes from us, but also a bank, the second largest bank in Germany has just bought a new flex frame from us. So, but the whole project went smooth, really, really smooth, very nice, nice installation. But what was really interesting, it was not only a discussion about converged, it was very much a discussion about where to put what kind of data, who can help actually the organization. Mm-hmm. Are we going to have to do that on premise? Are we going to have to do that at Fujitsu premises? How are we going to move the data between? And that was something which was really interesting. And being able to do that now with ONTAP, with the idea of data fabric, with a great integration into VMware, and also with OCI, it is now enabling us to do that with our customers, right? And they are both using different kinds of delivery models for IT now with us. So very flexible, and it's great. And both are actually saying that this is enabling them to be much more agile in order to bring in new business idea into the organizations. And banking is very much at the forefront of bringing in new business ideas in there, but without any sacrificing on security or high availability demands. And the best was also they were able to reduce the cost overall. So all of that was playing together. That was an example of of two very large organizations, but we're also seeing a very nice impact in smaller organizations, in schools and university, by trying to simplify the way we are using IT, right? And that's something which is happening.
Yeah, so I mean the trends, simplification and changing your business process is all about adding value at a lower cost. Now we talk about cloud a lot, and it requires IT and businesses to work very closely together. What advice would you give to the audience from your experiences working with customers?
A great question, and actually something which I would really like to get across. It's all about communication. It's all about communication. The business doesn't want to talk IT. We do, right? I love it. But the business doesn't. The business wants to discuss solutions, right? Solutions on how to do fast analytics of data, how to set up a new business, how to do a merger, or how to search for the best manufacturing process, how to you have the best purchasing process in the cloud, which is also compliant, and that has to be understood by IT. And we need to make that translation into how can we actually find a solution for these business demands. And we can do this because we can talk about the feeds and speeds. We can see the potential in IT, which is really, really important. And in order to do so, in order to keep it within budget, in order to make it very agile, we all need to think about different delivery models of IT. We need to think about on-premise, off-premise, private cloud, public cloud, hybrid clouds, and that's something where we both are actually playing in very, very nicely by our openness, driving industry standards, and making this actually possible.
Yeah, and I think one thing, Bernhard, I would add to that is the people. Everybody here, people have to come first. When you think about the change, the technology is there, but you have to have the right people in the right place. And people have to be really passionate about what they're doing. So if they are, then they're going to stand behind the vision and really help you out.
Absolutely.
So, with that, I have to say thank you for being, a great partner. And thank everybody here for coming to, hear us have a little chat here. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cynthia, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Really appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Great job by Cynthia and Bernhard. Now it's time for an interview that I'm going to hold with our platinum sponsor, VMware. So we call this a short lightning round form of an interview. So our guest has been with VMware since 2011. He's recognized as a leader within the European technical community. In fact, considered one of the top 50 most influential folks in Europe IT. Pretty cool. Seen some major transformations, and really curious to have this conversation with him. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Joe Baguley. He's a VP and CTO for VMware EMEA. Joe. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good, good. Thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure, every.
Yeah, we talked a little bit backstage. This is a busy man, so he gets around, and really appreciate you spending the time to be here, and appreciate VMware being a platinum sponsor of this event.
It's cool. It's busy times for all of us, I think, to be honest.
You know, I'm sure that we'll get to the topic that we should talk about, but I wonder if we should talk about our partnership or we should talk about what's a more physical, dangerous sport, rugby in Europe or football in the U.S.?
Rugby.
But then I thought, you know, with this audience, there's no way I can win that one, so we should just get right to the content. All right. So we've been in the business for a while. You know, I've seen partners come and go.
Yep.
The alignment, the partnership with VMware NetApp goes way back, and our alignment has always stayed true and continues to. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think I have to look back in a bit of my personal history. I was one of the founders of the NetApp user group in the UK. And what drew me to NetApp in the first place was two things, simplicity and innovation. It was really that simple. Doing something really simple, well, it appeared quite simple, and the simple things are always the hardest ones to do. So making something simple is very hard, and that requires innovation. And that's exactly the same as what we've done at VMware. And I think since that partnership started way back when, we've grown together with our customers, and every time they know if they want something that just works, that literally does that simplicity for them whilst providing them with amazing levels of innovation, they know they can come back to us. And so I think that's really been the good foundation for us, that shared vision that we have. At the same time, we've innovated in some fantastic ways. As storage has matured, as virtualization has matured, you've got things like the View Composer that we do, VCAI. You've got the VASA stuff, the storage array APIs. All of that work we've done together, and more recently vVols, which is pretty cool in itself. That together means that we've got 50,000 joint customers globally. Now, 50,000 joint customers is one hell of a number, to be honest. I'm a big Formula One fan as well as rugby. In fact, Formula One's kind of where I started my career. And it's great that one of our joint customers is Sauber. And Sauber actually ship a FlexPod around to every Formula One Grand Prix that they have. And so they are using FAS and vSphere every day and under real pressure to make sure they're still trying to get to the top.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and 50,000, that's very substantial, 50,000 customers between us. You know, and you touched a little bit on the innovation. Mm-hmm. What are some of the, you know, if so, more direct question, what would be some of the more impactful innovations you've seen between our two companies?
I think there's three real areas. When you asked me this question, I thought about it, and there's three real areas going back. One of them is DR. I mean, DR is possibly one of the most boring and painful things you can do in IT. No one wants to do DR. And so with things like the work that we've done at NetApp and with vSphere and the features in SRM, we've essentially made DR easy. And everything we do is another step to making almost DR something you don't even have to worry about. And now with some of the solutions we're doing with hybrid cloud, it becomes another level of easy. Then there's VDI. I mean, everyone always says this is the year of VDI, right? I think every year is the year of VDI. It's just going to continue growing. And we've got some fantastic work we've done together, not just the View Composer stuff, but more importantly, we've now got all-flash FAS, meaning that we can scale to 50,000 users in VDI. And in fact, I know that you guys, because we work quite closely, in your engineering, you've got 11,000 desktops of VDI, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
You know, it's quite nice of you to buy that from us. I appreciate that. It's very
kind. We appreciate you selling it to us.
It's a pleasure. And then vVols. I mean, virtual volumes. So cool. And the concept of virtual volumes basically speaks to everything we're talking about with the software-defined data center. It's really about the fact that we've taken the way that you manage storage from looking at storage to looking at applications. So it's almost like an application and workload-centric approach to viewing how you build out storage in a data center, as opposed to a storage-based view. And I think vVols is really, since we announced the concept a few years ago, we got beaten up because we didn't launch it fast enough. Once we did and we launched it big with you guys, was major for us. You know, you were the first people to launch vVols with us. Yep. And that meant a lot.
I think prior, I think you told me that you had something to do with speeding that up. I mean, you were a big proponent of vVols, and yeah, you knew that's something you had to get out there.
It was massive for me that I thought that if we're going to change and turn around how we deliver storage, and if we're going to build that sort of future data center, you need something like a data fabric.
Yep. So you've heard, data fabric, this whole conference is about building data fabric together. You've heard a bit of our vision on how we enable the freedom to move and use data anywhere it is, disk, flash, cloud. How do you see NetApp's data fabric vision, strategy, mapping with VMware's vision?
Do you know what? It couldn't be closer aligned. And I'm not just saying this because I'm on stage with a bunch of NetApp guys, right? It literally couldn't be more aligned. When we go back to the vision that we had in the office of the CTO at VMware, way back when of the software-defined data center. Actually, we then called it the operating system for data centers. Some of us still do. What we visualized was one layer of software that allowed you to spread across initially multiple machines, then multiple data centers, and now multiple clouds that allowed you to bring any workload and have that workload freely move across that environment. To do that, you needed to move not only compute, but also networking and storage up into software. The fabric's exactly how you do that. That's entirely in line with what we want to do. So everything we've done around the software-defined data center is building towards that, so that ability to freely move and have workloads have their storage move with them and have the performance of storage. Because as we go forward with new types of workloads, we're looking at things like microservices and containers now. Storage performance becomes even more important.
Sure. Yep.
So we're more focused on that. So having those kind of technologies and that is really, really important to us in terms of having that alignment. At the same time, there's some really cool stuff with management. So from a management perspective, we've got vRealize Operations and vRealize Automation, which a lot of you know. There's even other stands about that out there on the trade show floor. But what's important there is that we've done some work with you guys on extensions specifically around managing storage and around optimizing and monitoring storage in the context of a software-defined data center. Because I can tell you, the way that we managed and monitored applications and storage 5 years ago is so different to today. And it will be incredibly different to how it's going to be in 5 years. So having that foundation of a data fabric, a vision of the hybrid cloud, all built into this software-defined data center vision, we couldn't be closer aligned, to be honest. And that's why it's so exciting that you guys are giving us the chance to come here and share that with all of these people.
And and being CTO for EMEA, for VMware, as you look down the road, I mean, do you continue to see we'll stay aligned in our future visions having intersect points?
It's funny because obviously the big thing in the news at the moment is the Dell EMC thing, and there's a very simple answer to that. Is people always go, oh, Dell's buying you, so that means you're going to drop all your relationships with HP and IBM. I'm like, no. Look what happened when EMC bought VMware, right? Look at the relationship that we have right now on this stage, right?
Yep.
So if we can do that when we're owned by a storage company, then we're going to continue to do that. And we've built such an amazing foundation on our ecosystem partners. And our ecosystem partners, don't get me wrong, we realize how important it is to everything that we do. And I came from a partner and was hired into VMware 5 years ago. And one of the first things I did was go around and beat people up and say how important it is we support our partners and our ecosystem. So it's absolutely, top line for us, looking after our ecosystem.
Good. That's great to hear, Joe. So you guys have a perspective session this week.
Yep.
What will attendees be learning when they attend, and why should they attend, and when?
So this one's really cool, actually. I like this one myself. The title is 10,000 Desktops in 12 Days. Now, it's telling a story of how we and how you too could deploy 10,000 desktops in 12 days by bringing together NetApp and VMware. Now, fortunately, I've managed to find another Englishman who's even more handsome and has a much better beard than me, Matt Watts, to do the introduction for that session. So he and himself should be a draw. So if you like attractive Englishmen with amazing beards, come to that. But more importantly, if you want to find out 10,000 desktops in 12 days, that's tomorrow at 10:30 a.m.
Excellent. Yeah, please make it a point to do that. We ran this session when we had Insight in Las Vegas. It was a big hit. Also, please stop by the VMware booth. Joe, again, you're a busy guy. I know you carved out time to be here, and you made it, and you did a fantastic job. So I want to thank you for being here, and thank VMware again.
Absolute pleasure.
All right. Thanks,
Cheers,
Joe.
guys.
Okay, we're going to keep this moving. So obviously, Fujitsu, VMware partners, very critical to the data fabric, but so is the technology, our products, solutions, and the person best equipped to explain that is our new Executive Vice President of Product Operations, Joel Reich. Joel has been with NetApp for 13 years and has over 30 years of product technology management experience in the storage industry. In his current role, he's responsible for enabling the evolution of data fabric, the vision, focusing on the needs of customers as they evolve their IT environments to take advantage of hybrid cloud. So without any further ado, I want to unleash Joel on you and have him come out on stage. Joel. I don't need the quicker.
Thank you, Roger and Joe. Hold on. Thank you, Roger and Joe. So that music was the music that was playing last month when I was in Bangalore at a number of NetApp events. And it was like this. I was a speaker after lunch, and I needed some energy to get going. So I went back to the sound guy, hey sound guy, and asked him to put on some music that would liven up the afternoon. He had the best of Kenny G and some old ABBA. So I decided I'd have to go to my music library. So I handed the sound guy my iPhone and asked him to plug it into the soundboard. Now, my music library is in iCloud and also on the Mac on the desk in my home office in Massachusetts. I was able to use my Apple Watch, though, and select a song from my music library. And I was able to play Hard to Steal, which is what you just listened to, from that library halfway around the world. And it just worked. So imagine if you could make a hybrid cloud that just works. Imagine if you could be every application developer's best friend instead of their excuse for why they can't get their job done fast enough. Imagine if you could back up and restore and archive data and help your organization fulfill its mandate for the cloud today. You could define your cloud strategy and choose a provider now and still have the freedom to change tomorrow. You could redefine yourself, your job, and your career. Imagine applying skills that you already have to make cloud just work. You can be the architect of your company's transformation to the cloud. So imagine if with your skills, you could build the hybrid cloud that users need and want. Not one dictated by a single vendor's offerings. In fact, that sets up a world where we're going to recreate the data and application silos that we just spent the last 10 years trying to get rid of. It doesn't give customers the freedom to choose the best cloud solution today and change as their needs change in the future. That doesn't work. So how does the data fabric by NetApp enable the real hybrid cloud? The real hybrid cloud is a customer-centric hybrid cloud. It's a multi-directional cloud. By multi-directional, I mean that over time, data will move from one cloud vendor to another. It'll move on-prem and off-prem. It'll be much like if you have children in their 20s. They move out of the house, they move into the house, they move into the basement, they move back across. Right? That's a multi-directional family. We believe that the cloud will be multi-directional also. The cloud that customers want supports the customer's choice of hypervisors and systems and cloud providers. It allows you to deploy near the cloud and in the cloud in any combination. Now that's what the data fabric is all about. And it just works. And I'm going to show you how. Since last year's Insight, we've been hard at work. We've made changes across the portfolio of innovation. I'm going to talk about how each product adds to the data fabric. Since last year's Insight conference, when we announced the data fabric, we've built new capabilities in Data ONTAP, the world's #1 storage operating system. New capabilities that continue to improve and expand the data fabric. High availability synchronous replication, consistent data management across flash, disk, and cloud. All-flash FAS. These new features of CDOT make it better for building a data fabric. All of these new features of CDOT are available in 3 forms. You can choose in a box, as software, or in the cloud. And for me, choice is a very important thing. So 350 TPI 450 TPI, 600 TPI. Well, these actually aren't performance numbers for the latest FAS systems. They are thread per inch. They're thread count measures of bed sheets that I reject. Right? So my wife accuses me of being a thread count snob. Right? There are never enough threads in my sheets. And it's not just the thread count that counts, it's the quality. Has to be Egyptian cotton. Right? When you build a data fabric, it's like weaving a real fabric. It's a series of threads that are different strengths and different colors that all come together and create versatility. The choice of threads will determine what you can use the fabric for. So let's take a look at the thread count of the data fabric. Because adding public cloud into your environment can add complexity, we're making sure you could manage your on-prem and cloud as one resource with the on-command manageability suite, including on-command Insight and on-command Cloud Manager. You can streamline the deployment and management and tracking of hybrid cloud resources as one logical pool. That's one thread that makes the fabric wrinkle-free. So we're celebrating the 5-year anniversary of our FlexPod relationship with Cisco, with over 6,300 customers, $1.1 billion of revenue, and more than 1,100 partners. In the last 12 months, we've added integrated FlexPod configurations and reference architectures for the data fabric, including OpenStack. Many customers want a complete solution that's pre-integrated and ready to use, and FlexPod allows you to get that. We also have an all-flash FAS FlexPod. Try saying that 10 times fast. And over 100 integrated NetApp validated designs. So Cisco and other partners add more threads to the data fabric. In the last 12 months, we released AltaVault. If you weave the AltaVault thread into the fabric, you can securely back up your data into almost any cloud. Amazon, Microsoft, Google, SoftLayer, Rackspace, and more. In less than 30 minutes. That just works. We've storage gridded to the fabric, and you get object storage at massive scale, on-premises and in the cloud. Combining AltaVault with Storage Grid, you can back up data from dozens of existing data sources in your environment to a long-term object store using industry-standard protocols. It's simple, it's wicked cool, and it just works. So these are just some of the threads. Also in our thread count is our E-Series and EF products. They provide the best enterprise-grade building blocks for emerging big data applications, SAN applications, and OpenStack deployments. So we can even add non-NetApp products into the thread count. We've added capabilities to ONTAP that make easy migration to ONTAP possible. They allow you to get more value out of the data fabric by adding products from HP and EMC to the weave, which may seem like strange bedfellows. We've talked a lot about moving to the cloud, but some customers don't want their data in the public cloud at all, because you never know who's been sleeping in the sheets in the public cloud. They want to take advantage of the agile compute that the cloud provides and maintain complete ownership of their data. And that's exactly what NetApp Private Storage enables. And customers love NetApp Private Storage, and it's gaining momentum. Nearly 150 customers have recently included an NPS deployment in their hybrid cloud. In fact, Dave Hitz's talk tomorrow, he's going to demo some exciting NetApp Private Storage capabilities for the future. It's one of the most exciting things that I've seen in the 20 years that I've been in this business. Today, there are many threads in the data fabric. It's our data management and our technology architecture for the hybrid cloud. It's the direction of our portfolio. And we're working with new and existing partners to add to the weave. Now imagine combining the technologies I just mentioned with the data management expertise that's sitting in this room. What could we do together? What can you do with the knowledge and experience you've built over the years? Many of you already know how to do on your NetApp systems, have already set you up for success in helping your customers or your organization move to the hybrid cloud. The investments you've made have already positioned you to succeed in this brave new world. Organizations around the world are already using the data fabric to achieve amazing outcomes for their organizations. They're mapping the human genome. They're moving billions of dollars around the world. They're finding new sources of energy, and they're saving lives. Let's take a closer look how they're achieving those great outcomes. Tiscali is the only independent telco in Italy. They're committed to innovation and market leadership. Tiscali saw an opportunity when their industry began shifting from managed services to cloud computing. They leveraged their expertise in telecommunications and managed IT services to transform their business. They moved from a consumer-focused telco to a provider of enterprise cloud services. They wanted to move fast. They identified 3 critical areas to focus on: performance, compliance, and control. Their approach was to host both their internal and customer-facing services in the same cloud using a hybrid approach. They've begun to build out their data fabric based on NetApp technologies. Between their current deployment and their plans for the future, they're using almost the entire NetApp portfolio. Let's walk through what they're doing today and what they're planning for the future. They've broadly deployed FAS systems running cluster data on tap. In fact, they were the first customer in Italy to adopt cluster data on tap. They have a total of 22 NetApp FAS 8040 systems and 3 clusters with secure NAS and SAN multi-tenancy. There's an 8-node cluster that does managed email services, almost an infinite amount of storage for 2 million users. There's a 10-node NFS cluster that does virtual hosting and billing as a service. And then there's a 4-node fiber channel cluster for critical internal applications. They have EF series all-flash arrays supporting their mobile services. And they use EF series for both production environment and for synchronous DR. The move to EF gave them a 3x performance improvement in that application. Tiscali is continually innovating to stay ahead of user needs. They're in the process of adopting several additional portfolio offerings. Alt-of-Alt Cloud Integrated Backup will soon support Tiscali's backup as a service offering, and StorageGrid WebScale will provide a large-scale object storage for cost-effective cloud backup. Cloud ONTAP will enable Tiscali to offer their customers additional cloud options, including Amazon Web Services. And for those customers who have stringent data residency and security requirements, Tiscali is also deploying NetApp Private Storage. Tiscali's next goals are to unify data management for the entire hybrid cloud infrastructure and to use NetApp On-Command Insight for capacity planning, chargeback, billing, and reporting on individual customer profitability. Tiscali is seeing big benefits from the data fabric. A 50% reduction in IT costs, a 3x improvement in mobile performance, 200 terabytes of space savings, 50% less space and 60% less power and cooling, faster deployment of new services, and they guarantee 5 nines availability of cloud services to their customers. Verdata is another great example of what you can do with the data fabric. They used OpenStack on FlexPod to build an Internet of Things platform that collects and analyzes information from millions of devices. They're here, and they have a session which I strongly encourage you to attend. So those were 2 examples of people who've used existing skills to build a data fabric, and they are no different than you. In fact, if you know ONTAP, you know Cloud on Tap. If you know snaps and storage VMs and other data management, you already know how to back up to the cloud or switch from one cloud to another, and more. But there's one more thread to add to the data fabric, and that's you. And that thread has so much quality. Your expertise makes you the thread that truly holds the data fabric together. But enough talk. You've heard a lot about the data fabric, our vision, and how our customers use our technology. Now we're going to show you how it works with products available today. I'm pleased to announce Jeff Baxter and Neto from Brazil. Gentlemen. Thanks, you'll get him.
Well, thank you very much, Joel. My name is Jeff Baxter, and it's absolute honor and privilege to share the stage with Neto from Brazil.
Thank you, Jeff. Hi, all. This is Neto from Brazil. How are you? Thank you so much. It's a big honor to be here. I work in our customer proof of concept labs, CPOC. And we have been doing POCs for customers almost every day. And it's a big privilege to show these demos to you guys.
So let's go ahead and get to it.
Okay, NetApp. I love this company.
So the task we had from Joel that he laid out was pretty simple, right? Show you the tools that we have available today that are making the data fabric real. So we're going to walk you through a series of demos: NetApp Private Storage, Cloud on Tap, integrations we have with hyperscalers, our AltaVault products, just a whole bunch of different things. So I think the right thing to do, Neto, let's go ahead and bring up our On-Command Cloud Manager.
Okay.
It's a free tool we released in last year that really gives you visibility into what you're doing on the cloud.
Okay, here we have On-Command Cloud Manager. As you can see on screen, we have on our left, near the cloud, NetApp Private Storage, as we have a FAS attached to it. On our right, we have on-premise environment, CPOC, that we have a FAS attached to it. And we have a replication in place between both clouds.
So you're showing here on-prem storage, as well as storage sitting near the cloud, near AWS. Now, I know a lot of customers talk to me about, maybe I don't want to bring out a second data center, right? I'm not in the business of building data centers any longer. So instead of building out a second data center, maybe I want to put my data out near the cloud. So I know Joel was mentioning to me earlier he has a database that he'd really like to see us back up during this demo. So can you go ahead and show us that database?
Yes, we have a database, Joel's database, that is sitting on-premises CPOC, and we have 3 letters, E, F, and G. So Joel's database sitting on CPOC, on-premises, and letters E, F, and G.
Okay. So now the tool we're going to use to back this up is actually a relatively new tool that we just released in last year, something called Snap Center. And Snap Center takes all of the skills in the audience, those of us who have been working with NetApp for a long time, of the last couple of decades, things like SnapDrive and Snap Manager, and starts to put them all together into a single pane of glass, starting with SQL Server.
Okay, let me show this. So here we have Snap Center. I'm going to sign in. I'm going to settings. We have 2 storage virtual machines, one on-premises, CPOC, and another one near the cloud, NetApp Private Storage. Okay. We have 2 compute layers, one in AWS and another one in CPOC, on-premises.
Okay.
What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to use on-premise compute layer, CPOC, and I'm going to do a backup. I'm going to select my data set, Joe's backup data set, and I'm going to click and do a backup right now. Done.
So just a couple clicks and you're backing up that on-prem database in an application and database consistent manner.
Yes, and we are doing a little bit more on this, right? So we are backing up that database on premises, but we are also replicating that data near the cloud to NetApp Private Storage. So as you can see on the job details, we have on-premise SQL.
Yep.
We are doing a local backup.
Right.
And we are replicating that backup near to the cloud, to NetApp Private Storage.
Now, I know for this piece of the demo, we sped it up a little bit because it takes a little bit of time to set up those SnapMirror relationships and accelerate those out from on-prem to the cloud. But you're telling me in just one click, we backed up Joel's database, did it in an application-consistent manner, and called SnapMirror technology, something we've all known for decades, and pushed it out right next to the cloud with NetApp Private Storage.
Perfect.
Very good. So let me ask you a question. One thing that frustrates, I think, all of us is DR just for the sake of DR, right? Data's sitting there doing absolutely nothing. So something I get asked all the time is, okay, can I use that data I've replicated out near the cloud, and can I use it for test dev, right? Can I actually use it to provide environments for my application developers? Is that something you can show us?
So let me show you here. So here we have System Manager. I'm pointing System Manager to NetApp Private Storage.
Same exact tool.
Exactly the same. NetApp Data Manager is the same. We have here one aggregate, NPS 102, aggregate 1, that we have 18 volumes, and we are using 1.5 terabytes.
So 18 volumes, 1.5 terabytes of space.
Yes, and what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to create a dev and test, and let's see, using Snap Center.
Snap Center, same tool we used on-prem, now we're using for NPS.
Yeah. So clicking on Clone Backup, here the only difference, remember that on the first demo, we made a local backup on premises, and we replicate that data to near the clouds.
Okay.
So I'm going to use a clone from secondary. I'm going to use the clone near the cloud on NetApp Private Storage, and I'm going to use the compute layer in AWS.
Okay, so you're using that replicated backup that we just did in the last step, but instead of putting a bunch of compute out near the cloud, you're actually using AWS as the compute layer.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. More steps. I'm doing the auto assign here for the C ladder. I'm going to select the backup that I want to use, and I'm going to select the archive location.
Okay.
Okay. Typical scenario for
Stuff that people are familiar with over the last couple of years.
Yes.
Just, yeah, absolutely.
couple clicks. Doing the next here. Selecting the resource, Joe's database that I'm cloning from secondary.
Right.
I'm going to apply all the backups, the logs, the archive logs, the transaction logs, actually, that's SQL, that's not Oracle. And
done.
done. So
Just
as
one
you can
wizard.
see, we have a clone, one clone from that database using the compute layer in AWS and the data near the cloud in AWS.
Wow.
But we can do more, like I can do 4 clones, or I
Okay.
can do 100 clones, doesn't matter.
So 4 clones, 100 clones, all through that same exact process. You could automate it and build out 1, 4, or 100 different application developer environments.
We know that NetApp Data Manager is the same, doesn't matter.
So now you've put the data in the right place to get the job done, right? You've become best friends with your application developers. You know, Neto, can any of our competitors do this?
No,
None of them.
no,
None of them. Like, can HP do this?
no,
Can EMC do this?
ever, never. Thank you.
So, but this must have taken up, what, like 6 terabytes of space, something like that for those 4 clones?
No, we are using FlexClone. NetApp Data Management is the same. Remember, on-premises, near the cloud, or in the cloud, we are using the same data management.
So this is System Manager.
Yeah, take a look here back on System Manager. We have 26 volumes because we create clones. We have more volumes, of course, and we are still using 1.5 terabytes of data.
So you've got 8 additional volumes for the 1 each logs and data for 4,
Who knows,
right?
right?
But
Okay.
yeah, I can do math.
Okay.
But it's just 1.5 terabytes, and if it's 100 clones, it's still 1.5 terabytes.
Love you. Perfect.
I'm learning something every day. Okay. So, you know, we've made our application developers happy, right? We've built out this whole entire environment. But, you know, what happens now that we've just made best friends with them if we have an outage as a result, right? We work with some incredibly resilient partners, some incredibly resilient clouds, hyperscalers like AWS and Azure and SoftLayer, you know, but even then they have outages. I mean, we all have outages. Is there anyone out there who has never in their professional life had an outage? Anyone? Anyone? No hands? No hands? I had one person in Vegas that claimed it, so I took him to the blackjack table, and it still didn't work out. It was weird. But, so we still have these outages. How could we deal with that? Do we have something we could offer in that case?
Of course. NetApp Private Storage, it's a multi-cloud environment.
It's a multi-cloud environment. Okay, what do you mean by that?
Okay, let me show you this. So here we have Azure Console running on Azure, and we have a SQL instance running on it. CSG SQL 01. Remember that name, CSG SQL 01. Repeat
Okay, I got
after
it.
me.
CSG SQL 01.
Perfect.
You sound like me with my toddler, right?
Okay.
See, I can do it. CSG SQL 01. Got
Perfect. That's running on Azure.
Okay.
Showing where is the database actually looking at SQL Server is CSG SQL 02. Question for you, where's
Yes.
that?
Well, okay, so CSG SQL 01 is on Azure, but it's actually the active node is running on CSG SQL 02.
Where's that?
I don't know. Where's it running?
He knows, right?
Well, I know just because you showed me this demo
Okay.
like 15 times.
So
but
where's
it running?
Okay, it's running on AWS,
Okay.
in Amazon.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do right now is the database is running on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to stop the instance
Whoa,
right now.
you're just shutting it down.
Yes, take a look on the screen, and done. Let's go back to SQL Server.
So what's going on here? So it's offline, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1.
Done.
So that was 5 seconds.
Yeah.
5 seconds, and you failed an entire running SQL database from AWS over to Azure.
Yes.
And that was what, a couple terabytes?
Yeah.
What if it was 100 terabytes?
Doesn't matter.
No, like if it was
Doesn't matter.
So how long would it take?
Doesn't matter. Remember, one very important point, right? So why that's so fast? You guys have an idea? Because the data never moves. The data is in NetApp private storage, near the cloud.
Wow. So now what if I wanted to take that data, and we talked a lot about near the cloud. What if I wanted to show some stuff in the cloud? So we have something called Cloud on Tap, right, which is running ONTAP, the same ONTAP we know and love, directly inside Amazon Web Services. Can you show me what that would look like?
So you want to show on top, data on top, cloud on top, on top.
Yeah, bring up that on-command Cloud Manager. How does that
let's
look
take
like?
a look.
Okay.
So the same tool, on-command Cloud Manager, as you can see, we have 3 clouds. On your left, we have AWS, Amazon, that
Right.
we have a cloud on top attached to it. You can see by the icon here.
Okay.
So on your right, we have CPOC, and that's on-premises, and we have a FAS attached to it as well. On the bottom, we have near the cloud, NetApp private storage, and we also have a FAS attached to it. Question for you.
Yes.
And for you, what's the warning sign?
Well, usually
got you.
when we do demos, you're supposed to take the warning sign off. You know that, right?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no. So the warning sign in this one, actually, it's kind of interesting. I asked that we leave it in, because what this actually is telling us, it's a pretty cool feature of On-Command Cloud Manager, is that we've actually provisioned storage out in Amazon that we haven't yet provisioned through Cloud ONTAP out to customers. So it's actually giving us a warning that we're paying for storage that we're not yet utilizing. I actually think that's a really cool, almost hidden feature inside Cloud Manager.
That's good.
So let me ask you a question. We're showing on a single screen now data on-prem, near the cloud, and in the cloud.
Yes.
So if I wanted to take a database, say, from Cloud ONTAP and repatriate it back on site to my on-prem storage, what tool would we use to do that?
Okay, you are asking me to repatriate, right?
Yeah.
So, but hold on. Data on top, cloud on top, it's on top. It's the same. Do you want me to show Snap Center again?
So it'd be the same exact tool, Snap Center.
Yes.
So do you guys want another 5-minute demo of the same
Yes
exact
or
thing
no?
over and over again?
No.
Okay, good. If you said yes, we'd be really off script. So no, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to save something for day 3. When you come back tomorrow for Dave Hits, no, it's too late. We already got the nose. Sorry, you're like too late there.
The latency is not good.
Yeah, not good latency there. Sorry. So, but if you come back on day 3 for Dave Hits and Joe Caradonna, I think they're going to show you a really interesting view of how we can go ahead and restore that data from the cloud. But let's keep moving. Neto, the cloud is not just about hyperscalers, right? Cloud, we have people sitting in our audience, right? Cloud service providers, systems integrators, value-added resellers, who maybe are in the cloud business themselves or looking to be, right? They want to build out cloud services that they can then offer to many of our customers here in attendance. So we have a tool that we built for that where people can create their own cloud with something called NetApp Storage Grid. NetApp Storage Grid is our object storage offering. It can sit there and it can maintain general purpose object storage for billions and billions of objects, just massive amounts of data. Or in this particular example, we're actually going to use it as an on-prem or service provider offered backup repository. So we've got Storage Grid, and Nito's showing it here up on the screen. How do we make it easy then for our customers and our partners to back up to that cloud? Well, that's where we introduced AltaVault, which is our cloud-enabled backup appliance. So can you show me AltaVault, Nito?
Yes. So here we have on-premise AltaVault, that we have the console, and here you can see the provider is NetApp Storage Grid Web Scale.
Okay.
So keep that in mind, guys. Please do not forget that bucket name for day 3, Joe's Awesome Backup.
Joel's Awesome Backup. Got it.
Keep that in mind. So what I'm going to show right now is I'm going to show the shift share that we have in AltaVault, that I'm going to use that shift share from my backup tool to store my backup.
Okay, so that's simple. It's a shift share that your backup tool can just point its backups at.
Simple that. So let's take a look on, we are talking about SQL Server, right? So go back to SQL Server.
Okay.
Right click, tasks, backup. I'm going to remove the local destination from my backup, and I'm going to replace it with the shift share from AltaVault.
So you're using the native backup utility that comes with SQL Server,
Yeah.
but this could just as easily be backup packages from any of our partners, a NetBackup or Commvault, Sapana, anything like that.
Pretty much the same.
All of that works the same way.
Yeah. So here I'm going to do the backup, and after to do the backup, I'm going to to start the backup, I'm going to go back to AltaVault and show nice reports. So going back to AltaVault, here, as you can see, I'm going to show two nice reports. Front-end throughput, I'm going to change the window here to 5 minutes, that you can see the throughput coming through the AltaVault appliance.
This is the data already streaming into the AltaVault appliance from a SQL backup.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And we're already getting 5 gigs of total data in there? Very good.
And here, I'm going back to the same reports, and I'm going to show the report about storage optimization.
Okay. Storage optimization.
Going to the duplication factor. So we can see a lot of nice, the duplication is happening in the box right now. Change to the 5 minutes because you just are doing the backup right now. You can see that the duplication factor just for one backup is 3 to 1.
So just with that first backup, just starting that, and then we're already at 3 to 1, and as we continue to add backups, continue to do backups, we're only going to see that ratio grow and grow and grow of the overall storage efficiency in the AltaVault.
Yep.
So this is pretty cool, but now I've got a question. What if I change my mind about which cloud I want to go to? I mean, that backup just finished, right? And all of a sudden I get a notice. And this has happened, unfortunately, that in 2 weeks, the cloud that I've chosen is going out of business, right? Now I've lost all my backups, and I've lost the ability to do backups in the future. Can AltaVault do anything for me there, Neto?
Yes, of course. You can use AltaVault Cloud Agility.
AltaVault Cloud Agility. Okay, tell me a little bit about what that is.
You can move from your local provider to a different provider. So right now on this demo, we have NetApp storage grids, and we can move to Amazon S3.
So move from the storage grid that we just backed up to, move all the existing backups and the future backups straight over to Amazon S3.
Yes.
Can you show me that in demo?
Yes, but I'm going to show a very nice feature that you can have in demos, and that's old school.
Old school? We have to do this once in every demo. It's actually a quota. So let's do it.
CLI.
CLI, yes.
Okay, just one.
Round of applause for CLI. Anyone? No? Oh, wow. There we go. Okay, let's do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. There we go.
So with 3 commands, you can move from your local provider, NetApp storage grids, to Amazon S3.
Okay, so just 3 commands. We told
it's
it.
Moving.
Yeah, and we sped it up, obviously, because it takes a certain amount of time. This is moving all of your data from one cloud to the other. But we actually tell it what provider you want to migrate to, right? How to authenticate to it, and go ahead, set format, and gone, and it's going.
Yeah, and I can show to you what happens in the screen here right now. So we just finished, no more CLI. Going back to the GUI, you can see the provider Amazon S3. Going back to the details of the cloud information, you can see the same bucket name, the same repository name, Joel's Awesome Backup.
So just with a couple commands, you moved Joel's Awesome Backup from a storage grid instance over to an Amazon S3 instance, all my past backups and all the future backups going forward with no change to my backup app.
Perfect.
Wow. So if I kind of summarize what we've done here, we've replicated data from on-prem out to near the cloud with NetApp Private Storage, right? We've shown how you can use that data to build a test dev environment and have your application developers absolutely love you. We've shown how you can then fail over from one cloud to the other, literally 5 seconds moving between dissimilar hyperscalers and keep your business running. And now with AltaVault, we've shown how you can back up to on-prem or cloud service providers running storage grid and even move that if necessary between clouds. I mean, Neto, who else can do this?
No one but NetApp.
Can HP do it?
No.
Can like Dell?
Ever.
No.
Finish.
Can Dell do it?
No.
Okay. So no one but NetApp.
No one. On-premises, near the cloud, or in the cloud, NetApp data management is the same. And we and I love it. You too.
I too. So just to make it really clear, you know who else is going to love it? Your IT architects are going to love it because there's absolutely no lock-in in this solution. Your security teams are going to love it because you maintain control of your data. The governance and security remains intact. And your CEO and your executive staff are going to love it because using skills that the people in this room already have and have built over decades, you can immediately use those skills in the hybrid cloud to deliver value to your business today. That's pretty cool. Now let me ask you, Neto.
Okay.
You're Mr. Database.
No.
You've moved your database from cloud and back and all this other thing. But one thing we haven't really talked about is what if this database has really intense performance requirements? So you're Mr. Database, but I know you're also Mr. Performance, and I'd be remiss if I let you get off the stage without giving us a little bit of a flash demo.
Do you guys want to see a flash demo or no?
You want to see a flash demo? You haven't lived until
yes
you've seen
or
a Neto
no?
flash demo. Come on.
Yes.
I think that's a yes. Show them a flash demo.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
So you guys know that I work and love CPOC, and we have been doing a great POCs for customers, and one in particular, customer came to CPOC, he would like to see an Oracle application running on hybrid solution, hybrid FAS. And during the POC, he's going to increase the randomness of the application, and he would like to add all flash FAS nodes to see what's the downtime for their application.
Okay.
And I want to show to you guys about that.
Let's see it.
So we have a custom dashboard that on the top, we have application layer. The application layer, we are collecting real-time Oracle statistics, okay? On the bottom, we have NetApp layer that we are collecting also real-time statistics from NetApp.
And this is running on a hybrid array right now.
That's running on the hybrid array right now. So the latency is okay, 4 milliseconds, everything is green. Okay. So during the POC, customer was going to increase the randomness in the working set, and that's going to start to become red. So what we can do, we have a nice feature in Cluster Data on top, as you can see on the screen using System Manager, that we can move live a volume or a LAN to a different media.
Okay.
And we are going to move to an all-flash fast solution.
So 3 clicks and you're already moving a volume non-disruptively straight over to on all-flash fast.
4 clicks.
4 clicks, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay.
So as you can see on the screen right now, from 16,000 IOPS, 4 milliseconds going to 10, we are doing close to 50,000 IOPS, 0.9 milliseconds, and pay attention on this. We are increasing the number of snapshots. We are close to 500.
So you got 500 snapshots to 50,000 IOPS. That's pretty good. How much time did that how much disruption?
No, not all the time.
Like how much downtime?
0!
Well, that 50,000 is pretty good.
But take a look more.
Whoa.
We are, during the POC, we are adding more workloads.
Okay.
So right now, after to add more workloads, we have close to 240,000 IOPS, 0.9 milliseconds, and we are close to 1,000 snapshots.
Wow. So you've done 1,000 snapshots. You've gone from just 1,000 snapshots so far. You've gone from 10,000 IOPS to 50,000 IOPS to over 200,000 IOPS, less than 1 millisecond of latency. And how much downtime?
0!
So who else can do this? Can Pure do this?
Ever. No scale out.
Can Dell Extreme IO do this?
No.
No? So
Only us. Only us.
So you moved from disk to flash, you kept all your app integration running, and you demonstrated 200,000 sub-millisecond IOPS with absolutely 0 downtime.
Yes, with 2015 to celebrate you guys at Insight.
So only NetApp, wow. So let me summarize what we've shown here. Just in the few minutes that we've taken here, we've taken that database, that Joel's database he asked us to take good care of. We've taken application database consistent. We've replicated it out to NetApp private storage. We've used NetApp private storage then to create a test dev environment for application developers. We've then used AltaVault to send those backups out to a cloud and even failed over between different clouds using things like Cloud Agility and NPS multi-cloud. And then we show that same exact database being driven to over 200,000 IOPS with absolutely no disruption. So you know what, Neto?
Right.
That's why I love this company.
We love this. Thank you,
Yeah,
Matt.
thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Very good, Jonathan.
Neto. Neto, come on.
What's up?
240,000? That wasn't even as fast as Germany scored 4 goals against Brazil in the World Cup finals.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
You could do
It's
better.
okay, man.
Come on.
So wait. So what do you say? 240,000 isn't enough?
Well, I mean, you know, that might have been kind of harsh, Joel, but you know, I know these guys built something that can do a lot more than that, and I know Neto could get more out of it. So, can we see more?
Okay, do you guys want to see more?
Can we do?
Yeah, come on.
Can we do more?
I think we can do more. It's an SVP and an EVP. I think.
Are we in trouble?
Yeah,
if we don't do-
yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay,
do
we're
more.
gonna do more.
But
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
need
do
your
more.
help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's take a look. We finished at 240,000 IOPS, 2015 snapshots. Let's take a look on the screen.
Come on, pick it up. Come on.
Pick it up a little more. Okay.
So 240,000 IOPS, 2015 to celebrate. Inside 2015, we have 4 nodes, 2 hybrid nodes and 2 all-flash fast nodes. We are going to remove 2 hybrid nodes and add 2 all-flash fast nodes. Let's take a look. So remove 2 hybrid, adding 2 more. Pay attention on the bubbles and the letters, please. Okay? 400,000 IOPS.
Wow. Is that good enough?
Is that okay or no?
No.
More?
No, they want more.
More.
You want more?
More? I can hear more.
You want more?
Thank
I
you.
want more.
Can you do more? 2 more nodes, okay? 6 nodes. Pay attention to the bubbles and the letters, please. Okay, moving. Oops! Almost 600,000 IOPS. That okay or no?
600,000? That good? Can we do?
No?
More.
They don't
Need
look
more.
at-
More, come on.
More?
More.
More?
Okay,
Okay.
2 more nodes. I think that's enough, 2 more nodes.
2 more notes. That's,
Yeah, that's okay, yeah.
that's good.
Okay, and 900,000 IOPS.
Wow, nice job, nice job.
5,000
Thanks,
snapshots.
thanks everyone. Are we good?
Is that okay?
Is that the top? Is that it, or can we get a little bit more?
I think that we can do a little bit more. Do you want a little bit more?
A little bit more?
More?
They want more.
Come on.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Do it.
more workloads. And I need your help and your help.
Okay.
Okay.
Be crazy, be loud. We are going to count to 3. I'm going to be crazy here, okay?
Okay.
1,
1,
2,
2,
3. Yeehaw! 1.2 million IOPS, close to 7,000 snapshots. Is that okay?
Is that good now?
That was
we
very
good?
good.
Are we okay?
Yeah, we're
1.2
good.
million
That
IOPS?
was very good. Very good.
Very cool. So, you know, I think what we've demonstrated to you, Roger, and to you, Joel, and to this audience is that not only can NetApp deliver on, you know, pure flash, right? We've got pure flash. Not only can we deliver extreme performance, actually we can do better than any of the other guys out there, but we do it without compromising data management. We do it with enterprise-proven reliability, and we're data fabric ready in the package. Now that's a complete solution we bring to market.
So that's a fantastic job. Everybody saw the performance that we could get out of this. We are so confident that we're announcing a 3 times performance guarantee for customers. So we're offering a 3-time performance guarantee. This gives customers a great opportunity to move to AFF, all flash fast. This allows partners to help their customers gain the performance that they need. The guarantee, we guarantee for Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle databases that will achieve 3 times more IOPS at 1 millisecond latency, or will provide professional optimization to make that work. But we're pretty confident we're not going to need the professional services. Also want to say that the guarantee also includes AFF free controller upgrade, 7 years of support, and smart bundles. So if you're a customer out there, hope you're listening in, reach out to your sales counterparts when you get back. If you're partners, take this to your customers. This is a great deal, it's great technology, and it's really gonna help your business. So I wanna thank Joel, Neto, and Jeff for your time up here.
Thank you.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Jeff, super.
Thanks so much.
I don't know what to say to you, Neto.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you know, we talked a little bit. We did this in Las Vegas too, and you know, I think we have to develop something called the Neto Love Meter, because it really, you know, starts to peak when they get up here, and they did a fantastic job. So you heard a lot today from partners and NetApp product experts all about how we're enabling data fabric. Our portfolio is changing data management in the hybrid cloud. We showed you how you can take advantage of incredible flash performance and consistent data management across disk, flash, and cloud. We'll spend a lot more time tomorrow talking about some of the things in the future. Fantastic demo here. We have a great demo tomorrow, as I mentioned the other day. So please make sure you show up. I hope that me asking you to be here yesterday turned out to be a good idea for you. You know, your feedback is really important. In the NetApp Insight application, I think we made it really easier than ever for you to give feedback. So please take the time to send that in whenever you get an opportunity. So the call to action. You know, I said, you know, it's going to take all of us. And no one company, you know, partner, NetApp, or customer can make this happen alone. So you have to play a part in the development of data fabric. And in this case, we need everybody to join in. And the whole is greater than the sum of each parts. So have a great evening, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for general session. Thanks very much.